Democrats are still trying to figure out what went wrong in the 2024 election. And it wasn't just Kamala Harris or Joe Biden, shocking, but rather the Democrats' inability to get anything done, according to some fascinating new findings. In a trio of focus groups, voters, including those who have previously backed Democrats, described the party as weak and overly focused on diversity and elites. The focus groups, held immediately after the 2024 election and conducted by GBAO, a Democratic polling firm, consisted of three types of voters: young men in battleground states who voted for Biden in 2020 and Trump in 2024, voters in battleground states who voted for Biden in 2020 but didn't vote at all in 2024, and voters in blue states who had previously voted for Democrats, third-party candidate, or didn't vote in 2020 but voted for Trump in 2024. Now, the focus group results shows that the ongoing concerns for that party shows that it's still sifting through the rubble from November 5th. Let's take a deeper dive into what participants were asked and how they responded. 1, when asked to compare the Democratic Party to an animal, one participant compared the party to an ostrich because they've got their heads in the sand and are absolutely committed to their own ideas even when they're failing. Another likened them to koalas, who are complacent and lazy about getting policy wins that we really need. Democrats, another said, are not a friend of the working class anymore. Now, when it comes to the future after inauguration and Donald Trump's polling, these voters voiced cautious optimism about Trump's second term, both in the focus groups and a post-election poll that found Trump's highest approval rating since 2020 in a GBAO survey. The national poll, which surveyed 1,000 people, found 47% viewed Trump favorably, while 50% disapproved of him, the highest marks he's received since he left office. Rachel Russell, director of polling and analytics at Navigator Research, states that the focus groups offer a pretty scathing rebuke of the Democratic Party. She stated, "This weakness they see, Democrats not getting things done, not being able to actually fight for people, is something that needs to be figured out. It might not be the message. It might be the policy. It might be something a little bit deeper that has to be addressed by the party." Focus group did not solely blame Kamala Harris for being sick of the party, but they described Harris as inauthentic, very dishonest, and that she did not seem competent. A man who voted for Biden in 2020 but Trump in 2024 stated, "Seemed like every interview, every time she came out and talked about something, it was planned out and never her thoughts. Didn't seem genuine to her thoughts, whereas Trump, even though you never really knew what he was going to say, when he was going to say it, it was always him and genuine to what he thought. So that's what swayed me." Now, Cenk, there's something wrong with the Democratic Party. The problem might be the policy, maybe something deeper, but ultimately that they don't want to do anything. If only someone could describe what that problem is.
Look, guys, I got to do a giant told you here, right? But again, please, it's not about one person being right or wrong. It's not about ego. It's about getting it right in the future, okay? So what do we tell you on this show? We told you the problem is the Democratic establishment looks like they're serving the elites. So when they keep bragging about the corporate CEOs on their side and about how they raised $1 billion from these giant donors, that is not a good look, okay? That makes people wonder if they're ever gonna fight for you. But even more importantly, is you collect all that money, but if you actually delivered for people, they would get past it, right? And even if you had, instead of a 90 corporate CEO saying you're awesome, you had 900 corporate CEOs, they'd still get past it if you delivered. And they say, what do you mean? We passed a semiconductor bill. Like, no, you've heard me say it 1,000 times. Joe Biden did do better than Barack Obama. He, instead of 5% change, he delivered 15% change. And if you're rich, 15% positive change seems amazing to you. That's why the elites love Joe Biden, right? But if you're average American, 15% isn't anywhere near good enough. You didn't do paid family leave, that's a layup. You didn't do higher minimum wage, that's a layup. You look like you're fighting for the average American when you say, I need moms to have time off after they have a baby. I need people to have higher wages. Get caught trying. We said it 1,000 times on this show, right? And the Democratic elites were like, no, online riffraff. No way, no way. What we're going to do is we're going to deliver just a little morsel for you right there, okay? Their version of Salt Bay, right? A little bit here, okay? And then, how dare you? Now you have to go out there and do propaganda for us and say that we were FDR 2.0. Nonsense. Even if you say it 2,000 times, They don't believe you because it didn't actually affect their lives. Look at what they said. They should, quote, actually fight for people. It's like I wrote it, right? And then the other thing that Jordan read for you. What do we tell you? Kamala Harris looked like a corporate robot, right? She was an assembly line of talking points. This is my new talking point. Here is another talking point, right? What do the people say? It was planned out. She looked like she was planned out. Didn't seem genuine. That's because it wasn't genuine. And it was planned out. And they did give her talking points. And no matter what the question was, she answered in a talking point. And it was obvious to real people. If you're in politics, you forget that real people have eyes and ears. And you think, what do you mean? We programmed her just right, right? No, they can see that you programmed her. She's so obviously robotic and fake. And what did we tell you about Trump? We said, look, guys, he might lie at record pace, but he has the false appearance of authenticity because he says wild stuff. He's not programmed. He doesn't have talking points. Even when he has talking points, they gave me a talking point, but I'm not gonna use it. Instead, I'm gonna say something crazy. And people like that because at least he seemed like a real person. And it's like word for word what we said over and over again. And here's the focus groups. By the way, all these people voted for Democrats before they voted for Trump this time around or didn't come out to vote this time around. They're screaming the right answer at you. And all the Democratic Party ever does is say no, no, no. But one other thing, Jordan, they said the Democratic Party had two giant issues. One was they seemed to be representing the elites. That's what we were just talking about. And they seem to only care about diversity. They didn't say that they hate diversity. They said they only seem to care about diversity, right? And so you, look guys, I know the left gets super mad at me for this along with 1,000 other things. But when you're constantly talking about different groups, racial groups, demographic groups, what that it's subconsciously sends a message to white people in America: you're not important. And I know you think, no, 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 they have the power and we don't. I got it. I know all that. But rhetorically, when you say, hey, like one of the things that's so obnoxious that so many not like people that not necessarily politicians and stuff, but I saw it all over in activists and stuff. You know, white women need to know when to shut up and know to listen to what we're saying. No, they don't. They don't. Nobody needs to shut up in America, okay? We're all allowed to have our opinions, and white women are also allowed to speak. Stop talking like that. Yeah. Because, well, how do you expect white women to vote for you when you're like, white women need to sit down and listen to me? No, they're not going to. They're going to vote for the other guy. I mean, this is elementary politics, elementary.
Yeah, it's this performative identity politics.
Yes, that's a great way of putting it.
Disgusting, and like you saw that a lot after the election. Well, what did we tell you about white women? Oh, you screamed at them the past 8 years, told them to shut up, that their ideas were wrong, that they were terrible people, there's something wrong with them. Why didn't they come to your side? The thing is, like to Cenk's point, it's not that they don't care, it's that they're too focused. And when you only talk about diversity and you only point to increased representation, which on its face is good in entertainment or the corporate world, none of that leads to robust material gains for everybody. And that's why I thought the Bernie Sanders campaign was so inspiring, because of course he wasn't going to throw marginalized groups under the bus, but he linked everyone through a class message, through a populist class message, which does connect all of these different racial groups, because people of all races, all ethnicities, and all backgrounds can relate to a class and economic problem in this country. And when that is your foundation, then you can start to talk about how the economy, how working in America, and how different sectors of the economy disproportionately affects different races. That's how you build that argument, but Democrats are unwilling to do it because actually having a class message would require them to talk about corporate power, and that's something they're unwilling to do because those same corporations fund their campaigns.
Last quick thing here. Look, a lot of times people that are the elites in television, politics, will say, we need representation for such and such group. And almost every time they will be in that group, right? So, but having that elite black person have an even better job, or that elite Muslim person or Jewish person, whoever it might be, or woman or gay person having that job doesn't actually affect anyone else. If you actually lifted the minimum wage and you got universal health care, et cetera, that would uplift black people in this country and uplift everyone in this country, black and white, right? That's the right direction to go instead of always talking about representation among the elites. That is not at all helpful. All right, guys, we've got a bonus episode where we're talking about my appearance at Talking Point USA. That caused a lot of controversy. Hit the join button below or tyt.com and become a member, and we'll see you there. Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.